Hello, my name is Sarah. I figured for my first video it would be fun to participate in a readathon. I had no idea this readathon existed until literally yesterday. It is the 7th of March. It is a readathon for the month of March, but we're just gonna go with it. We're starting off already strong. It is the Tis the Damn Readathon, which is a Taylor Swift themed readathon. I'm just really excited because I love Taylor Swift and I love reading. So I'm like, why not? Essentially the way the readathon works, there's like this cool graphic of like a house and each kind of room is a Taylor Swift album, and there's 3 prompts for each album. Essentially, you just need to complete one of the prompts and you kind of like get that album, like you can cross it off. I'm gonna try to get all of the albums. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. This is gonna be kind of like, I guess, week 1/week 2, since the 2 books that I've been reading so far in March, I can use them for some of these prompts. So let's talk about those. Also, I will link the readathon website down below just so you can check it out if you're interested. So I'm not really going in like a particular order. I'm just kind of reading through what prompts like can fit with what I've read so far. So the first prompt that I actually was able to finish, I finished it today, is for the Speak Now album, and it is to read an audiobook, or I guess listen to an audiobook. The audiobook that I listened to for this was The Divines by Ellie Eaton. I finished it today, like I said, and I gave it 3 stars. In this one, you are following Josephine. She went to an all-girls boarding school when she was younger, like I guess around high school age. There was an incident where one of the girls from the school had like an accident and died. It just kind of goes back and forth. It's dual timeline, so you're following Josephine in present day. She's married, she has a kid, and she's kind of just grappling with the toxicity of the boarding school that she went to, and kind of still grappling with the events of the student that ended up passing away. You can just really see how the events that happened to her when she was younger have affected her in her adult years. The second timeline you are following is the timeline of, I think, that term or a couple months before the incident happens. I did enjoy it. I think it was really well written. This is a debut book, so I will definitely pick up another book by Ellie Eaton. The ending was a little weird for me. I think it was well written. I enjoyed the story. Wasn't an all-time favorite for me, but I definitely enjoyed it. And I think if you like a kind of dark academia, if you like toxic girl friendships, I feel like something like that you'd probably like. So I finished that book today, and that is going to count towards my Speak Now album. So now I've already got that. I can check mark that. The next album that I am working on, that I'm trying to claim, is Fearless. And for that one of the songs on the album Fearless is the song 15. And for that prompt, it is to read a YA book, which I am currently reading. I'm currently reading These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This one is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet in 1920s Shanghai. I'm already really enjoying this. I am, I think, like 50-ish pages. Yes, I'm 55 pages into it. I started annotating it a bit because there was already some stuff that I was like really enjoying in this. So essentially you are following these 2 rival gangs. You are following the Scarlet Gang, and they are kind of the ones who rule the school. And then you follow the White Flowers, and the White Flowers are a Russian gang that are kind of trying to infiltrate, take over the territories. I don't really know. I don't ever read or watch anything like gang related, so I don't really know about all that, but they're rivals. This follows the 2 heirs to both of those gangs. That is Juliet Kai and Roma Montagov. There's also a fantastical element to this. There's a monster that secretes this like viscous black fluid that essentially makes people end up like clawing their throats out. I don't know, it's like literally disgusting, but there's that kind of mysterious, fantastical element that I feel from what I've read so far is probably going to be the catalyst to most of the events that happen in this book. I'm just already enjoying it so far. I think one element that I really like is that it seems that Roma and Juliet already kind of have a past. They have some sort of history together. When you see them first meet in the book, they already know each other. So I'm really interested to find out more about their history, their background. I'm hoping it's going to be like a forced proximity trope with Juliet and Roma, and it's gonna kind of make them like fix their issues or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this so far. So this is for my Fearless album claim. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, those are the 2 books that I have so far. But I did get a holdout from the library from Libby, and I figured this could kind of go with one of the prompts. So it is for the album Red, and so the prompt is to read a book with red on the cover. I'm assuming this is gonna fit. It's a bit of an off red, but the book is The Upstairs House by Julia Fine. So I feel like this is red. I feel like it's kind of like a pinkish red, but it's red. So I'm counting. I'm counting it for this. I don't really know that much about it. I just remember I had read the synopsis and I was like, this sounds super juicy. So I'm gonna read it. But I believe it's about this woman who just had a baby and she thinks there's like the ghost of this author. It's like the author for Goodnight Moon. The ghost of this author is in her attic. I think it's just a story of this woman kind of in a psychological down spiral. I don't really know, but it sounds interesting. It sounds juicy. It's not too long, and I literally got the holdout for it today. And I was like, listen, perfect. This has red. This is gonna work. I'm also going to get started on reading that. But I think first I'm going to continue reading this because, like I said, I'm already really enjoying this. Okay, apologies. I know, not the best lighting, but I don't have the jacket on. But this is already so good. The reason why I am reading it this month is because I am a part of Books with Chloe, her Patreon. I'm gonna leave her down below. I love her. She's amazing. She is reading this for her Patreon, like book club book pick. I was watching a reading sprint, like live read with us, with her, Jamie from Jamie's Library and Caitlin from Kate Literature, which all 3 of them are amazing. I'm literally obsessed with them. And Chloe and Caitlin were both reading this book, and I remember they had said that they were kind of like, because it's obviously branded as a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but the romance is kind of like taken a backseat, I guess. And I think someone had mentioned that this might be, because there is a second book, that this might be like a slow burn, which I'm not mad about, because in general, just like the plot even between like the 2 gangs and like the dynamics of them, in my opinion, is already like really interesting. And I'm really liking this whole like mystery surrounding the monster. Getting like little glimpses into the kind of shit that went down between Juliet and Roma, and I am literally living. And I was correct. I believe this is gonna be like a forced proximity type of thing. They're gonna have to try to figure out what's going on with this monster thing, this madness that's happening to people, and they're gonna have to do it together, and they're gonna have to like face their past. I'm so excited. I literally read a line and I was like, so I'm really excited and I'm really liking this. I feel like even if the romance does take kind of a backseat, I just feel like maybe it's because I kind of had it in my head, or maybe it's because like Romeo and Juliet is not like my favorite thing in the entire world. Like I think I've only seen the Leonardo DiCaprio movie once. I obviously read it in high school, but I'm not like #1 Romeo and Juliet stan, you know what I mean? So I also kind of figured this wouldn't be a romance. This is clearly like a YA fantasy. So maybe I just kind of had different expectations going into it, but I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this. So I have like an hour before I have to start cooking dinner and stuff for me and my sister and like getting ready and everything. So I'm definitely gonna use that at work to read more of this, because this is really good. Okay, so look at me, killing it. One of the prompts for the 1989 album is to make a cocktail. So I'm doing just that for me and my sister. We're gonna just put the things that we have. So we have vodka, we have 1 White Claw, and I think we have some like Smart Ice. So we're making cocktails. All right, ready? We're gonna try it. Cheers. I'm nervous.
It's good.
It tastes very like orange.
It's
Tropical orange juice. It's a little strong. It's a little heavy-handed, but it's fine. Right, hello. So it is the next day. It is Monday, and I'm currently on my lunch break. So I haven't really been able to read that much, but I did start The Upstairs House. I'm literally only like 25 pages into it, but it's already really interesting so far. Nothing really has happened with like the ghost of anybody, but it's very interesting because I didn't realize it was going to be so much on like postpartum depression. I feel like that's kind of already this sense of foreboding that we feel. I guess let me kind of explain so far what's happened. Nothing's really happened, honestly, but we are following Megan, and she literally just had her baby. The story starts where the baby is like hours old. They end up taking the baby home, and you can already just feel this sense of postpartum depression. She's just very, did I make the right decision in keeping this baby? And she's already really not wanting to really care for the baby or anything like that. I've never read anything from the perspective of someone who has postpartum depression, so I just think it's really interesting and really sad, honestly, because postpartum depression is something that I think is a lot more common than it is not common, and it's something that I know is very stigmatized. She's already kind of feeling, I think, a little bit alone, and so I kind of feel like that's where this whole ghost thing is going to come into play. I feel like she's going to befriend this ghost and kind of feel, I think, a bit more like she belongs. She has someone to speak to who understands her. So I kind of feel like that's where this is gonna go, but I don't know, because I'm only 20 pages into it. Also, my nails match my bed. We love to see it. I will update you like once I actually have a good gist of more of the plot of The Upstairs House and kind of how this ghost kind of plays into it. I will update. Okay, so I just wanted to do a really quick update. I did read a bit more, only like 25 more pages. I'm on page 50 now of The Upstairs House. So now she's actually seen this what's her name? Margaret Rose Brown, I believe is her name. She's actually seen her, and I'm very intrigued to see like when they actually start interacting more, and I want to know how that plays out because she's home alone with her baby right now because her husband is away on like these work trips. He goes on work trips a lot. So I'm really interested to see kind of if the baby is going to end up getting like endangered because of this. I don't know. So we'll see, but I'm definitely enjoying it so far. All right, hello. So it has been a couple days. It is now Thursday. Yes, my days are a little messed up, but yeah, it is now Thursday. I actually just finished The Upstairs House by Julia Fine, and it was a time. I rated it on Goodreads 4 stars. I think I'm like rounding it up to 4 stars, but I feel like it's more of like a 3.5. I did enjoy it as much as you can enjoy a story like this because it's literally about postpartum psychosis, and like that's not an enjoyable time, but it was just very creepy. I think it's technically a horror novel, but it wasn't scary. I just think it was very haunting. It was very creepy. I think there were aspects of it that I wasn't the biggest fan of, not in terms of because it was bad, it was just for me something that I was kind of like meh about. But I think reading the author's note at the end, I think actually put a lot of it into perspective for me, and I feel like for me it made a lot more sense why the author chose to talk about the things that she did. It was an interesting read for me, I would have to say. I think though it's kind of, I don't want to say too much about the actual plot and what happens because obviously I don't want to spoil it, but I do have to say it kind of went away. It went in a direction that I was not expecting it to go, which isn't to say that that was bad. I don't think it was bad at all. I just think it was very interesting. It was a lot to do with Margaret Wise Brown and her relationship with this other woman named Michael. That was kind of a really big part of it, just kind of shedding light on this sort of toxic relationship. I do have to say I've never read a book like this ever, so it was a time, it was a journey, but you know what, I'm not mad at it. So now that counts for the Red album. So I got that. I'm making pretty good progress, I have to say. So the other thing I did, I ended up covering, I believe, I need to look up what album it is. But one of the prompts, I'll put it right here, like when I remember, but one of the prompts was to post an Instagram story of what you're currently reading, and I did that. Very excited about that. I'm not gonna start anything new. Well, I'm a liar. I'm actually reading the X Talk right now. I had started it, but that's not for any prompt for this. That's just like for funsies because I literally got it from Libby and I wanted to read it. I didn't want to wait to read it. So I started reading already, but that's not gonna be for these vlogs. It's not gonna be for this readathon. It's just a book for me to read for funsies. But very exciting. I did get, this came in the mail. Okay, I am so excited. I'm definitely reading this next week because one of the prompts for one of the books, I really need to have them in front of me. I don't remember, but I just know that one of the prompts is to read a expected like 5-star read. So this is what I'm gonna read for that prompt, and it is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I am so fucking excited to read this. You don't even understand. This series has changed my life. This series is like my favorite romances like ever. Get a Life, Chloe Brown was amazing. Take a Hint, Danny Brown was like, is my absolute new favorite romance. Like I'm obsessed, literally obsessed. It's so good. And so I'm so excited because I heard this one is a lot of people's new favorite. So I just kind of think the books are getting better and better. It is Enemies to Friends to Lovers, which I'm like, say less. I'm just so excited. So I'm going to be reading this for sure, but that's going to be next week's vlog because it's almost the end of the week and I really need to read these Violent Delights. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to finish it, but I'm going to try. Like that's what I'm going to be focusing on reading for sure this like next weekend and into next week. So yeah, that's just my little update. Hello. Okay, don't mind me. I'm coming from you today from my floor. Anyways, today is Saturday and I think today is going to be the last day of this vlog. I want to start next week's vlog tomorrow. Today, we're going to try to read a lot more. I'm on page 181, so I'm making good progress, I feel. Right now, I'm going to do some live reading sprints with Alexandra, Rosalind, and Sabine. I will leave them down below for you guys to check out. They're both like really great booktubers. I just love it. I've been really into doing reading sprints lately. I had never really done them until a couple weeks ago, and I'm like really about this. So I'm gonna do some reading sprints with them. It'll be really fun. I have my coffee. Okay, so I went to Starbucks today and I got the venti iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso, and I got an ad shot with it, and it's literally so good. It's got me so hyped. I am ready to go. So this is gonna be fueling me during these reading sprints. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, see how much more I can read. It'll be really fun. Let's get reading. So now we are at the end of the video. I just finished the reading sprints with Lexi and Sabine, and it was honestly so much fun. Just, they're two of like the sweetest, funniest people, and it was just such a good time, and everyone in like the chat was just amazing and like so fun. It was literally a blast. I'm just going to wrap up what I was able to finish. So here is my progress that I made. I did not finish these Violent Delights today, but I still got 4 albums, so I think that that's like really good in my opinion. So I was able to finish the prompts for Speak Now, Taylor Swift, Red, and 1989. I'm feeling really good about that. I think it's very promising. Yeah, that's it for this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I am obviously still new to this, so I'm still trying to figure out how I like to vlog and what I like to show and things like that, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's not too long. And also, if you made it to the end, I would love to know what your favorite Taylor Swift songs from these 4 albums are. I think that'd be fun at the end of the vlogs to have like a fun chat about our favorite songs from each album. So let me tell you mine. Okay, so it's actually kind of hard. So I'm looking at her track lists for these albums, and it's kind of hard. She's got a lot of bangers. So for all of these, I think I'm gonna say my top 2 favorite songs. It's really hard to narrow it down. But for her self-titled album, I would say my 2 favorite songs are Should Have Said No and Picture to Burn. From Speak Now, my all-time favorite is 1000% Enchanted. I love that song. And I also love Last Kiss because that song really puts me in my feels. I remember listening to this album and I was like in middle school and I was like looking out the window, you know, crying to the song, no boyfriend, but it hit and it still hits. For Red, obviously the only correct answer to this is All Too Well. All Too Well is her best song she's ever written in her entire career. It is a 10 out of 10. All Too Well, for sure, a favorite, as well as Red. I think Red, as like the title track, is an amazing song. It's so good. Yeah, Red is also one of her best albums, in my humble opinion. And then for 1989, my favorite is 1000% Clean. Clean is the best song on that album. And also, I would say my second favorite song is I Wish You Would, because that one's a banger. Let me know what your guys' favorite Taylor Swift songs. If you guys don't like Taylor Swift, let me know what some of your favorite songs are, period. I just think it'd be fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.